Hi, everyone, and good evening, good morning, or good afternoon, depending on which part of the world you're tuning in. I've seen that this conference has had amazing reach all over the world, and thank you so much for having us here. It's truly our pleasure and our honor. We're very humbled to be here. Today I'm going to be talking about Balik Bayan Philippines, which is an NGO slash initiative that I have founded, and it is a youth-led initiative slash NGO that basically talks about migration and leads in the discussion of migration issues amongst the Filipino youth. So, for the etymology, why Baliksabayan Philippines? It's basically a play on words Balikbayan, which is the term for Filipino returned migrant and give backs to one's country. So Balikbayan, it literally means go back to the country or go back to the fatherland or the motherland for that matter. And sa here, right here, it's a preposition that indicates to. So it's like giving back to a country, but also returning to the country. And it's in honor of several overseas Filipino workers that we have in diaspora across the world. So here we go. Exactly what our definition is. It's a youth-led organization that aims to facilitate discourse on migration and migrant-related issues and inspire action among the Filipino youth. So just for a short background, despite the having been recognized as a regional, and for that matter, sometimes a global leader for migration, the Filipino and the agenda on safe, fair, and regular migration has not reached the Filipino youth. And so with that, we go into our mission and vision. It's dedicated to engaging the Filipino youth on issues surrounding migrants and migration because we believe that the youth are not only front and center of some of the issues that continue to hound migrants in this day and age, but they're also agents that could inspire change and mobilize. And such is our vision, which is to mobilize and provide for migrants, IDPs, refugees through creative means. We envision a more empowered and well-informed Filipino youth when it comes to humanitarian issues involving migration, but definitely humanitarian here. We take an intersectional approach in how we deal with matters. Okay, so for right now, we're going to talk about projects. So the first one is we are doing information campaigns on migrant terminologies and just basically the most basic things about migration. We're kind of debunking misconceptions. We're also promoting different events and news that relate to the achievements of Filipino migrants overseas or migrants in the Philippines and migrants in general. However, we always make sure that we don't border on romanticizing their struggles, but rather just give them the recognition that is well merited. And we have here, we also produce articles on the latest migrant-related issues in the Philippines or that involve sort of like a Filipino lens to it because of our target audience. And so, for example, we've had a Filipino migrant in the COVID-19 vaccine, which talks about the Filipino nurses in several global north countries and how they have been administering the COVID-19 vaccines. But it also kind of makes, it aims to make people think why exactly is it that there's so many Filipino nurses abroad and what's the state of healthcare in our country and how is it that the people or the leading frontliners sometimes in overseas countries are also have to feel the need to leave the country. What is the state of healthcare here? And what are the issues that underpin these kinds of news? And we also have the effects of climate migration. In the future, we're hoping to have a donation drive specifically to provide through creative means as mentioned previously. And we also want to expand collaboration with relevant partners, whether it be through media partnerships or just through programs such as this conference right now that we have. So here are some examples of the collaterals and the overall branding of our company, of our organization. My apologies. And these collaterals are they're executed by a team of creatives. So we have 2 creative directors, and then we have a team of volunteers who are equally as passionate to learn more about migrant related issues. And we post this regularly on our websites and as well as our social media channels, which you'll all be able to see in a bit. So apart from that, we take pride in our various involvements. So we're an active member of the United Nations Major Group for Children and Youth Asia Pacific Migration Network. And personally, I also take the role of the GCM country lead for the Philippines. And it's actually really great because through Balik, Bayan, I'm able to liaise not only opportunities from the UNMGCY and the Asia Pacific, the UNMGCY Asia Pacific Migration Network to Balik Bayan, but also vice versa. And I can also I'm also able to reach out to more people through these positions and give a more holistic view of migration in general. Another one is participation in the UNMGCY consultations, which these were the stakeholder consultations that were being held by the UNSCAP and also the roundtables and also several side events. So I'm very thankful for that. And supporting of communiques and statements relevant to the organization's advocacy. So we make sure that if we have the opportunity to co-sign or to be a signatory of different joint communiques and statements that are relevant, especially those that affect young migrants or children of migrants or children on the move for that matter, we make sure they have some sort of involvement in that. As for opportunities, we are currently open to volunteers for creatives, research, or future projects such as the expanded partnerships, or if you want to carry out an internal project or an external project within the organization, we would love that. Media partnerships, we're super duper happy. Participation in UN seminars and activities. So we are very keen on looking forward to opportunities to make sure that youth can participate in high level negotiations and high level so not just on the grassroots level, but high level processes, because we understand that there's a genuine interest amongst certain groups of the youth, but we want this to be as inclusive as possible. That's part of our organization's vision as well. And lastly, we receive capacity building training from the UNMGCY. And so as you can see, Balik Bayan's operations are very much synchronized with the UNMGCY, not only in principle, but also basically in its values and what it stands for. These are our various platforms, and we'd be happy if you would like to connect with us. And you can also reach out directly to me through these various platforms. I'm always very keen on checking if there are any new happenings there. But with that, I'd like to say maraming salamat. Thank you so much for listening, and have a great day wherever you are.